So we've just heard the very sad news. Slavisa Jokanovic has been sacked.
Absolutely gutted. I don't agree with it. Yeah, I know a lot of the arguments, etc., etc. But this was a decent coach. This coach is the best we've had since Tigana insofar as playing attractive football. It's not gone right for him this season, but he needed a little bit more time. But people don't seem to want to give you any time these days. But my immediate reaction is this is absolutely poor. It's poor from Fulham's point of view. It's a panic from Fulham's point of view. He needed a bit more time. I get it if we went into the new year and we were looking bad, but no, I wholeheartedly believe in him. He's reported as saying he was a great coach. And I suppose he's not really in a position to say that, except that he believes in himself. Well, I am in a position to say that, and I think he is a great coach. Give him the tools for the job, and he would prove that, as he did last season, and he could this year.
Okay, here we are, London Victoria, rush hour. Get on a train and read the Evening Standard to hear that Jokanovic is sacked. Our new manager, Claudio Ranieri. Whoa, that's got to be a big scoop. But first of all, let's pay a tribute to Jokanovic. Look where he was. When he took over, we was at the bottom, not doing very well. He got us to that verge of the playoff final, and then the next year he goes one better and makes that playoff final, and we get a dream day out at Wembley. All the roller coasters, the ups and downs we had through that year, we will never forget. It will live in Fulham fans forever. And for Jokanovic, we thank you for that and your hard work you did to achieve that. Sadly to see you go, but I'm damn sure you'll get another job in the Championship, because you can walk into any team in the Championship and get them up. So that's how good you are in that Championship. But thanks very much, Slav.
Can you believe this? Just like Slavisa, Tony Khan's just gone and sat me on the phone. When I woke up this morning, I found out the news about Ranieri's appointment, and obviously I'm going to give Ranieri a chance, but for me, I was heartbroken. I remember running downstairs to him and going, Elliot, Slavisa has been replaced with Claudio Ranieri. And he turned to me and he was like, nonsense, absolute nonsense. You're chatting, you're winding me up, you're doing this to wind me up. And when we both found,
such a heartbreak, man.
And when we both found out that the news was real, there was a sense of both of us just in the room looking at each other going, is this a reality? Have we actually made that?
We were in mourning, man. I was
it was.
I was like, RIP to the best managers Fulham's probably had
in a while. Since Hudson, in my opinion, yeah.
Yeah, Hudson was a king, but Slavisa was the king.
Oh, his style, and you know, who can forget Wembley? He gave us Wembley, and what a wonderful day out that was. But his style of football and his approach, very serious man. But I've only ever met 2 Serbian people before, and they're serious people, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, now we've got somebody who is perhaps easier on the camera, easy on the eye with jokes and all that. Lovely. Good luck to him, and by the way, welcome Claudio Ranieri. But I want somebody who's got a lot more than that, and if he doesn't smile at me or looks serious all the time, then that's fine. It's what he actually achieves on the training ground. But let's not also forget that he's lost some coaches this year, and I have big question marks over what happened there. If you remember, even Alberto was not in the program earlier in the season on the directory. He wasn't listed, and we thought he'd gone. And he was certainly still there, but I wonder whether that wasn't an accidental omission, because of course now Alberto Escobar has gone. I'm hearing today that Ranieri is bringing in 6 new people on his team, according to Sky, just before I left. So it looks like Xavier might be off as well. I think he's been hugely influential as Slav's trusted right-hand man, maybe too close to Slav. But 6 new Italian, if Sky are right, Italian coaches or people as part of his entourage. So, you know, we're going to change our style completely. Where does that end? I don't know.
Slavisa, you are an absolute king of Serbia. I wish I knew some Serbian to say it in Serbian, but I don't. But thank you. Honestly, I'm so deeply upset that you've had to depart in this manner. Like, I would have liked to pay my final respect. If we'd lost after Southampton, I would have loved to have said goodbye, because obviously he could come down to the cottage every so often, but it's not likely that he'll return on a frequent basis. So it'd be nice for the fans to say a final parting per se. That's why it's the mourning sense of what I've said. Is a lot
we
of
didn't
fans,
get the chance
a lot
to
of
say
fans,
goodbye,
a lot of fans are probably as upset as I am to hear the news, because he was the king of Craven Cottage.
For a good 3-year period, you got to look at the finishes, and a lot of people go, we underachieved. Did we underachieve? You know, I look at the team. The first season we made the playoffs and we missed out on Reading. We were even the Huddersfield fans said it in the video, we were the best footballing team in the division, and you made us that. And then not only did you make us that year, the second year we started off so slowly, but you overcame and you got us promoted. And not only that, you broke records along the way. The first Fulham manager, well, the longest unbeaten run of a Fulham manager to history to date. And you did that with a charm about you. You did this with a swag, a coolness about you, where you weren't too brash, but at the same time you were calm, collective, respectful, but all at the same time a perfectionist. From my perspective, you were a perfectionist. You didn't expect anything but the best from his players. You know, football moves on so quickly, and I'm just so gutted for Slav. I'm so gutted for, you know, players like Sessegnon and Kearney, who really brought into his philosophy.
Mr. Khan, I do apologise, but I would say it has to be a bad business decision to get rid of Slavisa. I'm sorry, but I'm going to put my hands up there and just say it to you.
It's a very harsh decision to have sacked him, but the league is so tight, which this is why, in my opinion, he should deserve a bit more time, because he knows the way he wants to play. You know, the team wasn't his. I think the one thing that would go against Slavisa was the fact that he was offered, supposedly according to the media, was offered a new contract but refused to sign it for whatever reason. Well, I think we all know the reason through transfer policy.
Just talk about some of the misconceptions that they always get bandied about when you want to speak negatively of a person. They said that he spent £100 million. Can we just elaborate on that?
That irritates me no end. He did not spend £100 million. The recruitment department, headed by Tony Khan, spent £100 million. The way it works is Slaviša says who he would like, what positions that need filling, and he has a preferred list. Then that goes to Shad Khan, who doubtless refers to Brian Talbot. They talk about it, but they sign who they want, and he only has advisory input. We know for a fact that Mitrovic was one of his, and let's hope that Mitro's not so depressed that he wants to leave the club now. But no, it's the recruitment department, and the money is largely out of the TV money that we've got this season for being in the top league. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, the transfer policy is a bit of a silly discussion to even talk about, because, like, I don't know, I was hearing through the grapevine that supposedly Mr. Khan, Tony Khan, wouldn't want any players over the age of 28 or 30, and I find it's a bit ridiculous, because you do get these legends that are in that age where they are experienced to a high level for years of experience.
And that is a massive issue for me. Like, Tony Khan, I can't deny that he did a great job last season. You know, he got promoted out of the Championship, but with the finance that we had, that I'm not saying the Championship's an easy league to get out of, but we shouldn't have been struggling for so long. And this is one of the reasons I've been fully behind Slavisa Jokanovic, is you can't question his ability as a manager. The fact that you're adding pressure to him, because supposedly he spent 100 million when it was your stats and your statistics that were signing the players. He's only working with what he's got. He has an expensive style of football that can work, and we've seen it work. For Swansea, the prime example. This is, for me, we should have been looking at Swansea a couple of years ago when they got promoted from the Premiership for the playoffs. They came in, kept the core of their squad, but slowly started adding.
What's your opinion on the recruitment process at Fulham?
It is wholly flawed in what it does. I've spoken about this before. I've had a few words with Tony Khan on my reservations on it. Admittedly, no more than about 10 minutes. He didn't provide any satisfaction. He didn't really provide any argument in the area that I was saying was flawed. But it is totally flawed as a concept, and people's opinions have to come into it. I could go on ad nauseum about that, but perhaps you don't want to hear that now.
But what do you think about that kind of rule that they have? You can't sign someone over 28.
It's absolutely ridiculous. You know, you're looking at it as they're looking at it one-dimensionally. They're looking at it as if, right, okay, if he doesn't work out or we want to sell him, he's got an on-sale value which brings income into the club. Yes, I get it. In the Premier League in particular, you need that experience base. Look at what we did when we got to the Europa Cup. We got Damien Duff in, who was 30. We got Danny Murphy in, who was 30. Their experience was invaluable. They guided the younger players. Where's their on-sale value? But what was their value to the club and what we actually achieved that year under Roy?
And I think he could have turned it around, don't you?
Yes.
Because when you look at the bottom, it's like a little mini league, and he's the kind of guy that will just keep playing his style, and it will come good in the end because he's got a proven track record of doing that.
Exactly, and we're not cut adrift. I get the concerns and the worries. I fully get that. I have them myself. You know, I'm not immune to that. But you have to look at the bigger picture, and you have to give people time. We live in an instant society where everything has to be just now and then. But you've got to give somebody time to achieve. And I don't believe most, if not all of those were his signings, Mitrovic apart. And it's like giving somebody a job to do and not giving them all the tools of trade or the ingredients to create something. We've got a whole lot of people new people, but it's not joined up as a process of getting a squad together which is capable of gelling together and being coached together and bringing out all their strengths. There's glaring gaps. Where's the spine? We had a spine last year when Mitro came. Where's the spine? It looks like we've got a goalkeeper in Rico, a decent goalkeeper. He's acquitted himself very well. Bettinelli is a decent goalkeeper. Yeah, he has his flaws, but so does everyone. So that's one end of the spine. Mitrovic is the other end. What have we got in the middle, in the centre of defence, and more importantly, in the centre of midfield?
It's all about business, you know. This is the problem from this league and not the Championship, is the fact that the money in from a business perspective is so important to stay in this division that patience is a virtue when it comes to certain scenarios when it's Championship. Like the situation we're in now, you look at the league table, you look how tight that league table is. This is why I'm angry about Jokanovic being sacked. You look at that league table, 3 points gets you up to 18. The only thing that will keep us outside survival will be our goal difference, which is, yeah, you can look at it as Slavisa's issue, but you get 2 wins on the board. You get Southampton, you go to Chelsea, you draw. 4 points, that potentially takes you out of the bottom 3, and you end up looking like you could potentially, the momentum turns on yourself. You end up looking at instead of looking down, because you now got a few points on the board, you start looking up. And obviously with the mentality that we start going on a roll after November, that was the way I would have looked at it. That's why I was so patient with Jokanovic, because of the fact that he knows how to turn it around. He knows what he has to do in this. He knows what he has to do in English football. That's my opinion, anyway.
What do you think their thinking was, Elliot?
As Liam said, it comes down to business. In my opinion, it was a business decision to get rid of Slavisa Jokanovic. But I completely disagree, because I'm a Slav lover. That sounds bad. But Slavisa Jokanovic for me was a great manager, and I wouldn't have replaced him so soon. I would have waited maybe to the Christmas period, but as international breaks are here, it does make financial, I'll repeat that word, financial, because it's a big influence on what the decision was made down to. It wasn't down to friendship, it was made down to financial gain.
So here's a fact for you. Who was Claudio Ranieri's first signing at Chelsea? Jokanovic. Isn't it a bit funny how football goes, that a player that was signed by a certain manager is now replaced by a manager? That's football world for you. Canny.
Ranieri takes over What is he going to change that Slavisa didn't do? How is he going to motivate the team and change the team to adapt to his style of play when it's so far in the bottom? We're at the bottom of the table, we're struggling at the moment, and he's got to do a complete restructure of the spine and have to sort it all out.
I don't think he does.
So tell me, how does he improve them? What
the
decisions are he going to do that Slavisa wasn't?
It's the style of play that we're going to play. It's the fact that we're not going to go all out guns blazing. I can imagine us now, you know, going for those 1-0 wins instead of those 3-2 wins. You know, I can see him like shutting up shop if we go 1-0 up against Southampton and try and keep that. Right, basically, we were just having a quick conversation, me, John and Elliot, and we were just talking about pundits and the media, in fact, how one of the reasons I feel that Slavisa's job and the pressure was piled onto Slavisa was people like Paul Merson chatting absolute nonsense, talking about, making out that he knows more about my football club and know more about the way that Slavisa plays than I do, telling the whole world that Slavisa does not know what he's doing, comparatively speaking, to what he's done the last couple of years. I think people like fucking Paul Merson need to shut up and let
shut up. He was the one that was stirring the pot.
All of them. The only person I've actually heard talk any sense about that situation was Danny Murphy. He was talking. You've got to look at Danny Murphy from an outsider. He's a Fulham boy, even though he grew up supporting Liverpool and he's from Crewe. The time that he spent at Fulham really affected him, and Danny Murphy is the only person that talked any sense about that situation. People like Paul Merson and others who are telling me that, you know, we're not going to win a game under Jokanovic. What a joke.
I'd just like to say this to Slavisa. Don't know whether he's going to see this. Hope he does. But I can't thank you enough for what you've done for my club. I've been a Fulham support since the 50s, and there have been two outstanding managers in terms of the type of football being played. And I can do you no greater compliment than comparing you in many ways with the style of football of Jean Tigana, which was awesome. We've had other successful managers who play a different way, but my message to you is you are quality. Wherever you go, they're going to be lucky to have you as a decent, hopefully manager, not head coach, and don't have some of the peripheral problems which you almost certainly had at Fulham in trying to do your job. So a huge thank you from me, and I'll follow your career with great interest.
Right, Slav, I just want to say thank you for everything you did for us. I sort of met you at the playoff final, and we had a quick conversation, and I said thank you for everything that you've done, not just for the playoff final, but just some of the days out, some of the trips up to Newcastle. When I made my first trip up to St James's Park with this gentleman here, and Sheffield United 5-4, I never expected that we'd ever go away from home and beat a team 5-4. Can't deny what you've done for us and how you turned everything around and how you gave us memories, and you gave us a trip to Wembley for the first time in 40 years. And a lot of Fulham fans never thought that they'd ever get the chance to go to Wembley because it'd been such a long time. And you made dreams become a reality. You made legends of players. You not only made legends, but I look at Ryan Sessegnon, your youth development as well, for bringing in young players. You know, Sessegnon set it alight, and the fact that you were giving opportunities in the League Cup to the likes of Stephen and Lucas De La Torre and Harvey Elliott, for instance. So whatever you do in the future, you're going to achieve big things. It was disappointing how it ended, but you come again. I know you will.
Slavisa Jokanovic, it's a gorgeous evening in central London, just under the Shard. You've done great things for this London club, the oldest London club. And I'd just like to say a massive thank you to you. Like, you've signed a lot of great players, you played the football style that you wanted to. Yeah, you took us from the bottom to the top very quickly, and all I'm going to say is much love for yourself. Have a great life, enjoy it now, enjoy it. You've made 45,000 plus 50,000, however many Fulham fans very happy. And rock and roll, big man.